Who's in the house? Who is in the house? Mysterio, happy Friday to you, my friend. Looking forward to your views and thought this week. Appreciate it. How's Canada? What you been doing this week? 3 o'clock. I figured I'd do it early because when I do a Friday night, people are out, in a couple hours having fun. So we'll see what's happening. But I figured we do something here in the afternoon and talk about people and how people's lives have been changed when we help one another. I figured we'd get off the tangent of frame and hypergamy and all that, all the things that kind of knocked us off our game back in the day, but we're glad we learned them. So it is what it is. Emery Cocaine. I hope I said that right. Cocaine. I was watching Larry Lawton videos. I don't know who that is. So I'll check it out. Canada's great. It's 4 p.m. I love these streams on Friday and Sunday. Men should help each other. That is the topic of the stream. Men succeed when we help one another. When we don't help one another, we don't succeed. Men have a subconscious camaraderie between us. We want to help. We want to see each other succeed. That's not the same on the opposite side of our gender. We truly love it when a brother succeeds. We truly love to see people, men, become better. We really do, because that shows us a path that, hey, we can be better as well, right? Someone did it before us. We can do it. We just have to get out of our conditioning and everything that we can't succeed, right? Cyberzoni in the house. Hello to you. Bruce Lee is in the house. Good to see you. And we only help one another. I started this channel only wanting to help just one person. That was my whole idea. If I could just help one person, and that, like the person that helped me, I would be in a much better space, and that person could help another, and so on and so forth. And so that's why I started it. I wanted to share my experience on what I've learned going through my shit show of a life, relationships, marriage, divorce. And I wanted, guess what? My story wasn't very different from all of your story, right? We were bamboozled. George P is in the house. Good to see you. George, I think you're UK. WPM, wow. Hola, amigos. Hola to you. Anthony Villa in the house. What's up, yo? Good to see you. The homie Brandon, all the way from the East Coast, just back from the gym. Did you do upper, lower? I did lower this morning, but it was a great workout. But anyhow, back to the key at hand. We help one another. I'm very adamant about the fact that it doesn't matter where we live, what we look like, how big we are, how rich we are, how poor we are, how tall we are. We help one another. And that's how we get through this, right? This is how we make it. I share my story. You share yours with me. We find something of value in each of these stories. Hey, I'm not the only person this happened to. I'm not the only person that felt like I was waking up of a dream, a nightmare, and realized that, hey, I've got to figure life out. And I find other people that were going through the exact same thing I went through, almost identical stories, right? When you're going through this, don't you hear or see in a comment like an identical story, identical to you? And you're like, damn, I'm not the only one. There's validation in the fact that Other men have gone through it. Mysterio, your streams help my head and straighten things out for the week. Well, I appreciate you commenting, Mysterio, and everybody else. We need to help each other. This helps us stay in conditioning, right? This is the free throw line. These are the free throws before the games, during practice, that we work on all the time. Stay Strong is in the house. Good to see you. George P., I'm from Romania, but I lived in the UK. Okay, I knew there was a tie there. Good to have you. We can't do things on our own sometimes. Sometimes we need the camaraderie of our brothers. It's as simple as that. You know, I have a good friend, and he watches these streams. What's up, Brad? Here out of TJ, a shout out to all the TJs. Hope I said that right. Thank you, Bruce. The reality is this. Chris the man in the house, 1 gram of protein per pound of body fat if you're working out. I agree. I'm doing upper body bicep, tricep tonight. Hope everyone is doing well. Focus on you. It's a Friday night. Chris he's in the gym working on himself. He's not wasting money on a stranger. He's not sitting across the table hearing someone yell at him all night. So we need each other. You know, one of my good friends got me through he got me through. I called him 100 times a day when I was down, when I was going through my divorce and the beginning of it. I was in a fog. I didn't know where to turn. I had nervousness. I had worry, and he got me through it. And I got, and I pushed that forward, and I paid that forward to other friends of mine that are going through it. And I don't care who you are. I meet someone at a bar, a restaurant, on a bike ride, in a chat room, and they're struggling. I'm going to reach out. It's as simple as that. And that's where men should be. That's what men should be doing. Dishwasher. I don't know if you're new, but I haven't seen that handle. Maybe I don't remember. What percentage of nurses are working in hospitals that are bitter man haters in cheap clothing? I hope the hospital. A large majority. I was married to a nurse. Women nurses are notorious for infidelity, and they're notorious for everything else. And I would not get with a nurse or a flight attendant or a bartender or a therapist or a social worker or an HR person or a lady cop or whatever. But I would say the majority in the 90s. Bruce Lee, iron sharpens iron. Yes. Good. Those are good words of wisdom. That's what we're doing. Men are sharpening men. We are getting this information out. We are camaraderie here. Official CPA, checking in. Always remember, women don't like you. They like what you have. Great comment. They like what you can provide and bring to the table. It's just how they're made. Young Huckster, Big Rad, what up? Just finished my shift at the LBS. Good to have you here. Good for you. Doesn't it feel good? Doesn't it feel good to finish something? Doesn't it? It's funny. I got a good friend, and we would always talk about this. Is it possible to be the same way all the time, or will it always? It always fluctuates. I mean, I was up 3 pounds this week. Did 2 days of straight fasting. Now I'm looking pretty chiseled again. Comes back with salt, sugar, and water, and whatever. Do you think religious women are dangerous? I think there's no difference between a religious woman, I was married to one, and a non-religious one. I think you might even have better luck with an atheist instead of a religious woman, but just my deal. Where was I going with that train of thought? Can't remember what I was thinking. Never met a nurse that was not divorced, single mom. Oh, they're all divorced. Seriously. It's not a good profession to be in. Marcella is in the house. Looking forward to your live stream today. And Marcella is from, I believe, Europe. Is it Netherlands? Can't remember. Cyberzoni, my ex was a health worker as well. Yes. Nurses are mean. They power trip. Yes, they do. And a special appearance by FJT. It's a Friday. Men helping each other. But back to the point. I wanted to start this channel because I wanted to give back what was given to me. And I had a really good buddy that helped me. And you know what? When I was down, I'd call him up and he'd talk me off the proverbial ledge, right? Hey, you know what he'd say to me? I'd say, I need you to just talk to me. I was in a fog. I didn't know what to think. Life was new. I had kids. I was worried about them. I wasn't worried financially because I was fine, but I was just worried about the future. I didn't know I'd been in a marriage 20 years. And you know what he'd say to me? He'd say like 2 sentences. He'd say, shut the fuck up. You're a fucking badass. You're going to make it through. That's all I needed to hear. I didn't need to hear all this emotional crap. That's how men talk to another. I got a buddy that calls me. He's down. He's going through a divorce. You know what he says? He tells me, I said, just lay it out. Let me just vent it out. And I tell him, you're fucking, badass blankety blank. The biggest, baddest dude I know. What the fuck? You're the fucking prize. And then he hangs up. He's like, man, that makes me feel better. That's what men do. Men help each other along the way. I think I'm preaching. I'll probably get a little upset. I'm a dishwasher and retailer at a hospital, which allows me to hear some of these man-hating conversations amongst nurses. Well, I don't think it goes just to nurses. I know nurses, it's a very weird dynamic. I didn't find out about the specifics of nurses and broken relationships and divorces and infidelity until I was going through it. In fact, I should have caught on to this. Before the marriage, I remember my ex all of her friends were divorced nurses. It was like the weirdest thing, but I didn't think anything of it, right? I'm like, they're all whacked. But then I realized she was whacked eventually, but it took me a while. And now I avoid them like the plague. They're only good for one thing: Band-Aids. My friend that I don't really talk to anymore, I said he was strong when his mother passed, and he took offense to that, saying he was weak. Yes, he's a weak man, Mysterio, but you did what was right. You try to hold him up. Some guys, they don't want to be held up. They want to be victim. It's the conditioning and society we live in. Men have become victims in so many different ways. Men have become become feminized. I got a friend that used to be my neighbor, and she says she gets text messages from guys in their 50s that sound like women. Emojis, the behavior is identical, and it's simping, right? It's blue pill, but it's everywhere. So if you got boys, and I've got boys, and I'm teaching them what up, I'm not trying to tell them exactly how to do and be and act. I'm just exposing the different roles between genders and how to act around one, and how to be a masculine man, and how to to get along and understand the females that he hangs out with and why they're the same. Guys, a 12-year-old boy, my 13-year-old, when he was 13, he's old, he's 16, he would say the exact same thing that you guys are telling me. All of a sudden, she ghosted me. A 13-year-old girl ghosting a 13-year-old boy. A 13-year-old girl totally going nuts on him. Where do they learn that? Right? In their homes, with their peers. Mr. Sammy at Taco Bell, the chalupa. Emery, people are created to be complementary, but we all are brainwashed to dominate each other. Most men stab each other in the back to get the approval of a woman. Almost all sports are based on domination. It's a very good comment. That women have gotten in between men, and men have left this life because of that. You've seen the videos on YouTube where some blue-pilled simp is trying to intervene between the guy fighting, arguing with his girlfriend, and he gets his ass beat, if not knocked out unconscious and potentially paralyzed because he tried to step in, right? Usually a woman's in. I would say most of the crime in the criminals, the incarcerated, 75% of them, it's got to be a woman involved or a female. Maybe 2 guys are fighting, he knifes one, he's in prison. Maybe he's trying to steal to go pay and buy something for the woman, so he robs a bank, whatever. Somehow, some form, there is a lady involved. It's not the lady's fault, it's just a fact. I have never heard about nurses before I got home. Well, now you know. How do you cope with random rages about an ex? You just have to write. Well, here's the way I deal with it. If you get upset about your lady, you're subconsciously giving her power again. In other words, she's on the pedestal, whether it's a happy one or an angry one. So you have to literally get into a way that you just don't think about it. You take your energy out physically at the gym. You talk to other buddies. You write a letter, then burn it. Somehow get that energy out. Yeah. But the goal is not to ever give her power. And when we get mad and yell and get angry, they know it. She's on the pedestal, and we give our power away. So that's how. And it's like psychology. You just say, "Shit, I'm really angry at her." That means she's got some sort of power control over me. You got to get it out. Hit the gyms. Hit the links. Walk, run, write it out. Blue pill is actually a bad state to be in. It's that bad. Be you involved with a woman or not? It is. Blue pilled conditioning puts the woman on the pedestal. That's it. When she's on the pedestal, you're here, right? You're here. You're lower. She has all control. So when someone controls you, how do you feel? You don't act yourself. When I was in high school, no woman ever had the jump on me emotionally. Yeah, remember that? Remember in high school? Oh, we ran the show, didn't we? FJT, when I worked with nurses, they were all doing things to get my attention. The pros, easy peace leave. The cons, drama, gossip, arguing, emotions, headaches, never dip your pen in the company ink. Absolutely. The pro, it is easy peace leave. Absolutely. That would be a very good STR, a nurse, 3 to 4 weeks. Mike E in the house, or Mick E, never hook up with these people at work. No, never dip the pen in the company ink is the best way to go. It never, ever works. Yep, you're at 100%. It will end up in harassment. Absolutely. That's what we do. We help each other. We're warning each other. That app on your phone called Waze, it's a driving app. And you're driving, and it tells you which roads to avoid, where the popos, using the radar, and it's peer to peer, right? People are telling people where the radar is. That's what we're doing here. We're warning each other of potential pitfalls in life, and we're trying to help men navigate ways that they avoid more pain, more frustration, more anger, and potentially life-changing situation. I'm talking life-changing, where their life ceases to exist. That's why we're here. And every one of us is helping each other, me included. I get a lot of help. I get a lot of value talking to you guys. There were a few women at work who wanted to hook me up with a cousin they had in Laos. I said, okay, that's all right. Just don't dip the company, the pen in the company. Yeah, it's all a shit show like that. Describe how it was like in high school for you. I'm intrigued by how it was like in the 80s and 90s. It was simple. You had women like Jennifer. To me, the women, they were all big haired, but oh my gosh. There weren't hair extensions. There weren't fake eyelashes. There was nothing called Botox. But, 15, 16, 17-year-old high schoolers, the skin is amazing. They're beautiful. They're beautiful. There's no cell phone, no pagers, no internet, cable. I remember when cable came out. Who remembers cable? Right? It was great. Life was a lot easier. Did we still deal with female nature to an extent? Sure. But was it as accelerated as it is today? No. And girlfriend and boyfriends were longer together. There were relationships that literally last all high school, 10th through 12th grade. Then they break up when they go to college. But there was a lot of loyalty, much more than there is today. But it was a fun time. You know that there is no female rat on these channels. Interesting. There might be. We'll have to find her. Adele in the house. Hello to you. Quick drop before I embark on my graveyard shift. Salute to you. Salute to you, my friend Adele. Good to have you. Be safe out there tonight. I was in the high school in the early 2000s, nowhere near as bad as it now. Who was it that said that literally everything accelerated with the iPhone 4 because Instagram, Facebook apps, and everything became that big? I think 2010 or 2011. The last 10 years has been basically an eternity with really understanding. Now, the 80s for me was wonderful. I was a skater. I rode for some amateur companies. I competed. I had a great girlfriend. We hung out a lot. We passed notes to each other. We didn't know any of this crap. Her parents were married. My parents were married. We had a good time. We still have good memories, but it was a very different world. I had a girlfriend and then broke up with her, or her parents made her break up because they didn't like the idea that there was like exclusivity and blah, blah, blah. So my senior year, I was dating a girl that didn't go to high school. And then all of a sudden she just she ghosted me. That was the first time I ever got ghosted, 1989. One day I couldn't reach her. I'm like, where the hell is she? She was living with her mom. She'd been out of school for 2 years. I knew her when I was a sophomore. And she ghosted me. And I didn't hear from her. Literally, I was so worried. I drove to her house. And then finally her mother, a week later, answered the door. No, she left. She moved home to where her dad lives 3 hours away. First time anyone ghosted me. Guess who's calling me today? Her. She said she had to leave because she couldn't handle her emotions. That was my very first ghosting experience. And it was ghosting physically with no phones. Everybody had their hair dyed. Yes, 100%. We had cell phones, but it was those crappy Nokia prepaid ones. I remember those. I think I had an audio box. Our high school had a payphone bank. Yeah, I remember ours did too. My first car was a 95 Honda Civic with the 5-speed manual windows. Nice. Was that the hatchback? My first car was a 1969 Datsun 510 4-door. If you don't know what a 69 Datsun 510 is, they're those little box cars they raced. I loved it. Drove it for like 5 years. Traded it for a Ford truck and then sold the Ford truck. I love that car. Put a new engine in it. I'll have to get a picture and show you guys. Put a paint job on it, wheels. That thing was my pride and joy. And I bought it when I was 14 because my dad's like, hey, you got $500? Yeah, been mowing lawns. There's this 69 510 about a mile away. Let's go get it. I bought my own damn car. And I did everything. Put a new engine in it from Japan. Oh, I love that thing. Back when people valued things. I'm not saying don't value now. They did have the MC Hammer pants. Yep. And parachute pants and acid wash. When I was in high school, we had AIM and MySpace, but like Facebook wasn't a thing like that. Yep. We didn't have any of that crap. We had the library. That's what we had. Do you remember Dogtown and the Z-Boys? Yep. I've skated with Jay, and I've met Tony Alva a bunch of times. And in fact, one of my very first competitions. I got to meet the Dogtown team. Eric Dressen. God, who else was on it? That was that later Dogtown, not like 70s Dogtown. But I got to meet Tony Alva. He was cool. Long hair. He looks like a Howard. He looked at the time. He was funky looking, but nice guy. And Jay Adams. Yeah, Jay was cool. And Dwayne Peters had a little bit of part of it, but I don't remember if he rode for Dogtown. That guy's wacky. He still rips. But 61 years old, still rides pools. How bad is high school now for kids who grew up with social media? No, there's an anxiety that's built into high school right now. People are afraid to talk to people. There's no bonds. And I think that was something in my high school. I was bonded to a lot of my friends, and you could bond to your girlfriend. I mean, in different ways. But now I just don't think the bonding's there anymore. Homeschool is okay, but I still think there's value being around people. I graduated high school in 15. I wish I would have experienced life in the 80s and 90s. Well, it was a different world. So you've been out 6 years. Well, you've seen a lot in 5 years. There's a lot of changes in 5 years. Big time. and especially in the last 10 years. So the 80s, I graduated in 1990, started a sophomore in 1987. And that's when the girls, the cars the girls drove in my high school was the VW Cabriolet, the Rabbits. They loved them. And the guys liked to drive trucks and the VW GTIs that they could like soup up. So those were the cars. And like a Toyota Tercel hatchback. Those are the cars. If you had a GTI with a stick, a black one, you were dope. FJT, I hooked up with a slim, thick nurse within a week of working there. Then I found out she secretly had a fiance. After I found out, I told her, gee, thanks for telling me. Oh, geez. That's par for the course, isn't it? God, she probably has 2 fiancés. No shame in their game. Had a neighbor with a 280Z. Yep, those are dope. Rad, I don't have any women problems simply because I don't have anything. But I do play the lottery every day. Nothing wrong with that. Work on yourself. Any guy that's got a girl, I guarantee he's got problems. I'm not saying it's the girl that's giving him problems. I'm just saying it's hard to maintain relationships. Father Saunders is in the house. Salute, my friend. Good afternoon, gents. What's up? Used to you being on Saturdays. I thought I'd mix it up for the European folks. And I know that everyone's going to be out in a couple hours doing exactly what I said at the bar, meeting people, being alone, enjoying that chips and salsa and maybe an ale or a Peregrino or something, and then just enjoying life and people watching. Just, you know what? If you guys are ever just bored, go people watch. Just watch couples. Watch them. That's another way to reinforce what we're talking about. You'll be glad you did. Graduated high school in 2019. Like Rad said, I remember it was yesterday. That's when my son graduated. 2010, 13, when apps came out on your phone, Instagram, social media messed it all up. I would agree. My boys are going through the same thing you are going through. I'm young, but the problem is women get way too much attention and validation. You can't compete. They always can get someone better. No loyalty. Yes. Yes. And my kids are realizing that they have I said, you got to work on yourself. My boy's he's had a couple gals, pretty girls, but I think he's dumped half of them. And a couple of them they're 20 now, dating, 30-year-olds. So how's he going to compete? He got no money. I mean, he's doing well as a kid, but he's got to build something up. Fugazi, 100%. I am an Ian Mackay fan. Waiting room. Hey, this chick is giving me strong choosing signals at work. Then I saw her FaceTiming with her man and talking to her toddler with the man in the video. I know she's down to, sad state of women. If she's married, do not touch. She's married, never get with a married woman. That is not good behavior from a man. That's basically giving more power and infidelity to somebody else. Unless you don't know. I was in Chicago 2 years ago for a conference. 35-year-old. We had a little rendezvous up in the 9th floor for 2 nights. She was divorced, and I found out 3 weeks later she'd been married, but she was on a hiatus. That was the last time I talked to her again. Graduated high school in 98. First car was a 70 Chevelle. Bought it for $1,200. That goddamn thing's worth money now, Father Saunders. That was in 95, and my parents had my parents have my reaction when they brought it home on camera. I hope you still got it, man. Those Chevelles are worth some 51 years old, right? Dope. 98, that's when my brother graduated. Yeah. Do you still have your buddies from high school? A couple of them. I got a buddy that went through 3 divorces. He's paralyzed now. I feel really bad for him. Just keeps putting all of his effort into women, you know? Just some people just, they're not ready. How about that? SS 396. That was back when gas was still affordable. I remember when I had to fill up my car. We made $3.35 an hour. Raise your hand if you remember that. Gas was 59 cents at the AM PM, which is, like a 7-Eleven type gas station. 59 cents a gallon. And it stayed there all through high school. 62 cents, 59. It was the craziest thing. Now it's like almost 4. It's so weird. But I guess inflation and everything, right? Watching movies in the 90s about high school, and you see the girlfriend, boyfriend is not even real nowadays. Nope. Okay. Jean jacket. I was never a big fan of leather jackets. Although I do like the leather biker jacket. Those are cool. I like Danzig too. We got north-south in the house. I dated the hottest cheerleader in the school in San Diego. She asked me out. I was Chad for 2 years with her till 16. She ghosted me with a guy with a car. There you go. Hey, at least you got her. Right? My dad got rid of it as it got too expensive. My mom was sick of it taking up garage space. Your dad might have been a simp, right? A lot of guys' dads are simps. You guys have the most difficult generation for dating. Oh, I would agree. It's not easy. Class of 05s. 91, Mr. Sammy. I'm a year older than you, brother. Absolutely. Go out and people watch. You will learn more about the human dynamic. Oh, I love it. You'll see many people are outright tired, miserable. Just go watch the couples, man. I just love it. Just then I think to myself, I'm kind of blessed that I don't have to deal with that. Because I remember being married, and there were some good times. There were some most of the times were just, just not just the same, not growth oriented. Where now I feel like life every day is growth oriented. So I'm happy about that. In her dad's office under the bleachers. There you go. Those are some memories. Barely good tennis, rad. Any plans on expanding to new tech, BitChute, Rumble? I don't know. I tried BitChute, but they never uploaded my videos. I've got to spend more time figuring this crap out. Everyone's got all these high-tech microphones. I'm on my iMac, But then again, I'm not looking to win an award. I'm looking to literally talk to my brothers in arms and share with one another our experiences and avoid pitfalls. Men help men. We want to help each other improve our life, get to a better place, and we can navigate with women. It's okay to have a woman in your life, but it's how far do you want to go? And I don't, my thoughts on it. I'm not anti. I don't hate women. I love women, but I just understand more today what female nature is and can play in your life if you're not prepared for it. Because then I'm going to get an email from you or a phone call where you're dating a single mom and she's treating you like crap, but your heart's so into it that it could potentially disrupt your life in large financial, emotional, physical, and mental ways. And that's what we're trying to avoid. Men, if you're going to work with women and hang out with women and date them short term, that's great. But know the rewards and the risks of a long-term relationship, of a cohab, of a marriage, which I don't preach. Because, again, it's the battery concept. It'll never be the same as it was the first day. Two people trying to make the relationship better is impossible. Because one will have power over the other and one will feel less than the other. It's as simple as that. When you go on your work conferences, do you get per diems or out of your pocket for food and lodging? I could basically my expense budget is as big as I want it to be. I mean, I'm pretty conservative, but we'll stay at the hotel where the convention is and $400 a night or something, and then meals are pretty much paid for. We have nights and things like that. But when I take clients out, I splurge. Yeah, when I take clients out, dinners get over 10, 15,000. And there's only like 7, 8 of us. And there's high level executives, but they're all buying, $1,000 bottles of wine and stuff. But for a large deal, it's worth it. I wasn't a Chad in 20s and 30s, too short, now doing good, have law degree helps. Yeah, there you go. Working on yourself, man. Working on yourself. Simple as that. Dishwasher. If she has an iPhone, don't take anything serious. I think that's great advice. I agree with that. Gas was around $1. Huh. $25 to fill my Honda's tank. Is that today? No. It's probably back then. Adele, no hookups at work and no married women. 2 immediate rules I have and boundaries. Perfect. When you were growing up, what was your version of Arnold from Happy Days? Mine was called Clancy's. Oh, geez. What was that diner called? Gosh dang it, Mysterio. You always get me thinking. Earthquake Ethel's. That's the name of it. Earthquake Ethel's. We go there all the time. Class of 2003. There you go. You got plenty of time. Almost 20-year reunion. What do you do for an exercise regimen? I like to ride now that weather's better, I'm going to mountain bike, I walk, and I only lift weights. I do not do cardio at the gym. Only lift weights. Squats, presses, a military press, dumbbells, barbells, things like that. Kettlebells. I just started doing kettlebells. Lone Wolf, Lachlan 2. What's up? 3rd account here. 2 accounts have been yeeted for Hey, no, yeah, I've probably seen some of that. No warnings and don't even know what I said. But Susan gave herself a free speech award. I saw that. Can you believe that? I was looking at it going, what delusion. Good to have you here. At 18, I learned the red pill. At 20, now I just accepted it. Nothing I can do about it. Let's get this crypto. You are in the perfect position. I wish I was 20 learning this crap. My life would have been so different. But I don't hate on my life. I'm glad I've been through the experiences because I come out ahead. I tell you what, you got a parachute now that I didn't have, or a lot of guys didn't have. You know exactly the road to go. You build yourself up, you build yourself, you build your bank, you build your mental faculty, you build your hobbies, you build your learning. And you do not put any emphasis on a lady. Now, if a lady pops in your life, great. But be very careful. I'll be 37 in June. Feels like I was 18 yesterday. I still feel pretty damn young. I'm almost a year from 50. The good times with wife and kids, I felt so complete, but women hate peace. So she pulled the I'm not happy. Of course she did. So did mine. I did a video that your story is no different than my story, nor from Mysterio's story. Regardless if you're married or not, or John Boston's story, or Fergie Jersey Tale's story, or Timmy Kramer's story. It's all the same. Somehow, a woman got bored or monkey branched. And we had to learn how to deal with it. We didn't know this stuff. So young kids today, take heed and remember what you're learning from us guys. We've been through the block. We've been through the courts. We've been through scenarios of complete depression or alienation. It's not fun. And it's worse now. Do you think women gain weight as they age and are not as sexy? Yes. Where men seem to get better in age, I believe men get better in age. I get way more compliments at 50 than at 20. I do too. You know how many gals say to me, oh my gosh, what are you, 38? I go, nope, I'm almost 50. But I keep myself in shape, and I'm up here. You got to be up here too, mentally in shape. Mentally and emotionally in shape, right up here. And physically and spiritually, right? Spiritual doesn't have to do with any religion. It has to do with a connection to a peaceful nature of life. That's it. Get out in nature and just enjoy being alive. That's a spirituality piece that a lot of people don't recommend, or not recommend, do not give heed to. So work on your emotional and mental up here. That's how you stay young. And also working out and, eating well. I'm not the greatest eater. I mean, I eat well, but I'll have a burger and fries. I'll have a couple beers. I'm not so worried that I watch every calorie that goes in my body, because the guy from Herbalife created all these great vitamins and minerals, and he ran every day, and he was way in shape. At 44, dropped dead of a heart attack running. Was it genetic? Who knows? Was he scared of dying? Could be. There's a lot of stuff that goes on your mind right here you got to correct. That's a projector, and everything you think in it will project outside on the external. So if you're angry all the time, you're just going to have a ton of angry experiences. If you're happy, if you have peace, you're going to attract peaceful environments, peaceful people, opportunities. It's all how you think. You know why I know that? Because I've been through the opposite. And if I can do it, as stubborn as I am, so can you. Wait, we weren't born to only help the women be human shields and make their lives easy while advising, torturing, and enslaving ourselves. Exactly. Good, great comment, Lone Wolf. We were born to put our purpose first. Our purpose, we are on the pedestal. We're the prize. A woman should have never been central to our lives. They should have been a complement. And we should have never put them central. We should have put our purpose and our destiny. And then they would have loved that even more. But what do? We all put them central. We all got simpy and loved on them and gave them everything and let their bad behavior. If you had a woman that gave you bad behavior, you let her, run with it. That's what we did. Charles DC in the house. I can't understand why my 33-year-old ex-girlfriend broke up with me. We wanted to marry and have kids. Well, you invested your heart. I invested my heart. I know what it's like. She broke up with you because you were too nice, you were too boring, you were sick. If you were, these are the reasons women break up, or there was a better option, or all of the above. See, what you're dealing with, Charles, is female nature. She's not yours. She's just your turn. And this is what has to sink into all of us. Any second she could leave and go to a better and bigger option. Will she be back? I don't know how long you're with her, but if you had a long relationship, she will come back. They all do. By then you'll have moved on. But if you're giving her power right now by saying, oh my gosh, I'm sad, it'll never be the same again, that's when you're giving her power. She's here and you're here. You should be here. Remember, the more you think about her, the more power you give her, the less power you have to work on yourself. That's why these channels exist. That's why we help our brothers like Charles. We've all been through heartache. I've been through 20 years. Sadness. I couldn't see my kids. I know what it's like. But at least you didn't get married or have kids. That is a very big blessing. Did you want the dream? Of course you did. You put your heart in her. I know your story's no different from mine and anybody else on this forum or any of these red pills. We love those women. And now we're waking up to what female nature can play in our lives. They can go to another person. Their brains are different. And we have to accept it. Acceptance is the key. You accept the fact that she did what she did. Once you say to yourself, I, Charles DC, accept the fact that she left me, your life will become better. Trust me. If you don't accept it, your mind's going to try and figure out how to fix it. You don't want to fix it. If she left you for someone else, you never take an ex back. Do you know why? You never take a bath in your dirty water. That's it. Every bath you take, it's always clean water, right? Relationships are done. No societal and familial glue to hold together. Frame is not enough for lifetime marriage. There you go. Great comment, North South. Relationships are difficult. 99% of modern day relationships, and even relationships that have started within the last 20 years, I don't think are going to make it. There's a 1% chance of relationships that will. And I get these guys that comment on me all the time. Oh my gosh, I've got a great, amazing wife. Blah, blah. Great. I'm happy for you. That's not normal in today's world. It was normal 30 years ago, 40 years ago. It's not normal anymore. And when it was normal 30, 40 years ago, I would say it was a 70% relationship breakup rate versus 30% staying together. I don't even think it was even close to 50. What's your natural dress style? Casual or dress up during the week? I wear flannels, jeans, and boots. That's what I wear. Or t-shirts and jeans. I still drive an Isuzu. I had an Isuzu Trooper, 1996 LS. Loved it. It's got the worst damn gas mileage, though. FJT, I love my dad to death, but he's delusional. He's been divorced twice, and his third marriage is on life support. Whenever I bring up his divorces, he says, not all women are like that. I know a guy, FJT, that's been married 4 times. He wants to get married for the 5th time. He believes he hasn't found the right one. Can you imagine that? The guy's been gold digging in a swimming pool. Some people never learn. It's the dream. It's the illusion that keeps them going. They just don't want to give up. Huh. Man, I wonder what your dad thinks of your life. Just you're killing it out there. I paid off my house from crypto. Good for you. Barely good tennis. There you go, guys. Success. Best crypto now is Pirate Chain, up from 50 cents to 16 in a week. You heard it here on Rad's channel. I was looking at, what's the other one? Raven Coin? I got a buddy that did pretty well on that. I put some more money in a couple smaller ones. My buddy who's 30 old is sleeping with a 50-year-old. Jeez. Well, it's easy. But she thinks, you know what's funny? This guy's nailing a 50-year-old. Let's notch it up as a trophy. She might be attractive. I've seen some attractive 50-year-olds. I won't lie. I've never seen what's under the hood, but they've been attractive and kept well. But will I get with a 50-year-old? No. Will I date one? No. But this guy's enjoying the fact that he's nailing someone that could be his mom. That was probably his babysitter back in the day when he was born. And she's delusional now. She now thinks, when this relationship's over, she now thinks she can get a 30-year-old. Now the delusion is 15-fold with her. And so all the guys that are 55, they're not good enough for her because she's been sleeping with a 30-year-old. You see how the rabbit hole just goes down and down and down. I had to emancipate myself and find red pill on my own. My dad raised both me and my sister and was blue pilled to the max. A lot of us have to do that. Barely good tennis. Earthquake Ethel Roadhouse. What did you order? What was your jam? I always like the burgers. Yeah. Burgers and they had great onion rings. I never had their fish like Al made the fish at Arnold's. Will you do interviews with people who have similar stories to tell? Absolutely, Raph. Good to have you. Dogecoin, that's funny. It was made on a joke, and now it's worth like $50 billion. Go figure. Yeah, appreciate North South. Pirate Chain, right? Lowest I get that I look age-wise as a 50-year-old black man is 28 and highest 34. Well, I think that's great. I think your mentality is where it should be. And who was it? Greg Adams was talking about black men that, because the skin is different and you guys don't even, I saw a 70-year-old black man and I'm like, oh my God, he looked like he was 40. He's like, no, I'm 70. You guys don't get wrinkles. Your skin is much better. Oh man. And you don't get, black guys don't get the skin cancer issues that a lot of people, that everybody else gets. So, and you're going to, 75, you're going to look 35, my brother. I mean, just like Greg Adams, right? I pay close attention to women at my local tennis club. I work hard and play at a collegiate level. The women stay at the same level, never approve, and always cause drama. I was watching, it's on a couple weeks ago, and I was watching women. I love to watch women tennis. I just think a lot of them are hot. But the guys, I mean, those dudes can swing that they can hit the ball so fast. Like, seriously, where it's gone, it's out of control. I was a big Sampras fan. And back in the day, Agassi. Was it Sampras, Agassi, Michael Chang, right? Those are back in the day. I have a legit artist page where pro-black bigots and SJWs make openly racist and sexist anti-male comments which impute they fear are strong, independent. If a guy is hating on you because you're masculine, or you look a different way, or you have a different color of skin, or different shape of eyes, or live in a different country, that dude needs his ass kicked. That is a conditioned male that's playing for the other team, not sexually, genderly. It's ridiculous. We help our brothers. It's simple as that. Yes, in this country, in fact, the world has gone through the slavery. And I mean, it started with the Moors. Go do your damn historical. Romans had slaves. Japanese had slaves. Everywhere. It just didn't happen in the United States. It's been everywhere. God, go down to, why do you think in Trinidad and Tobago and those areas down there, most of the Latino, the Caribbean are black because they were slaves. It was a slave trade. So it's all over. In South America, lots of slaves. Africa, it's in the whole world. But we're past that. It's really irritating when we have to look at, we're men. We bond because we have the same brain and the same outlook on life. That's all I'm going to say. I get so irritated, that we help each other. We're not the enemy. Remember that. We are not the enemy. The enemy is the conditioning. The enemy is hidden within relationships. That's the enemy, not us. Man, that's my soapbox. I wonder if my buddy's fiance would come home if he asked her to, like she did to him a while back. Well, if he asks her, he puts her on the pedestal. And he's set up for rejection. I would tell him to go absolutely silent. Radio silent. Women will always come back around if they don't get your attention. Remember that. Shitty people exist in every damn race. Whites, yellows, reds, purples, blacks, blues. 100%. Yeah, 100%. But that's just the way society has gone. Now, who are the slaves today? Who are the slaves today? You know who creates more slavery? Family courts. That's who creates it. We were about 9 years together. I've done everything, even protected her in front of her family when they hurt her. It sucks because I wasn't expecting it. Why don't you send me an email, rebelagainstdefeat@gmail. We'll set something up. We can just chat about it. 9 years together means she will eventually come back to you, my friend. You don't want her back if she's left for another person. She didn't value your time. That's disrespectful. And if she comes back and you take her back, you disrespect yourself, and she knows that. So you can't win. The best thing is to accept it and move on. So reach out to me and we'll get you through it together. No soulmate story for me. I don't believe it. Not that I did anyway. I don't believe in soulmates. Comment Mysterio. Government elites know that strong men are a problem. That's why we see the feminization of men in media. Emotions are easier to control than logical warrior. Yes, they are. Very good comment. Very few women I know will go into counseling if there's a problem in a relationship. I've talked about this a couple times. I was talking to my buddy today exactly about this, that exact same comment. I said, when you go into counseling, there's a therapist. That therapist is a referee between two opposing teams, the man and the woman. One of them is going to walk out that room as a loser. That losing proposition will create resentment towards the other person. Tell me how that relationship's going to get better when she knows she's the winner and she consciously holds that over this loser, because he's been told he's a loser by 2-1, and the referee called it for her. It could ever get back. That's why therapy doesn't work. You have two different brains with a referee trying to decide who the winner and loser is. There's always a winner and loser. Good comment. It's funny how men have to be careful asking for their balls at the golf course. Hey, can I get my balls back? Not all women are like that, but you cannot spend your whole life waiting for the one. No. Put yourself on the pedestal and you chase excellence and purpose. If you want to get in a van and drive down to Baja and spend a year picking pineapples and making sandcastles and improving yourself, perfect. Jimmy is in the house. Butowski, the Disney one-itis narrative. Oh, I like that. Very good. The Disney one-itis narrative. All right. Soulmates cannot exist because men are the only ones who can perform introspection and improve ourselves. Either the other half of the species is not forced to change their soul. I would agree. The BS is affecting our military as well. I left after 9 years of being in the Air Force because of too much female lead. I would agree 100%. They're just not like men. They don't have the same brain, okay? They're not logical. They can't make quick decisions, logical decisions. Very few can. Dishwasher buddy is only with the Fitro because it's easy sex, simple as that. I agree. I'm a new subscriber. Kerbo, RIPX. Good to have you. Shout out to Kerbo. Tennis. It is more private than Monero. I'll have to check it out. My uncle retired from the Air Force, but he's a real Chad. I know some cool guys from the Air Force. Jacob Jardy, men simping over fake news. Good to have you in the house. It is deep. Ad, you're always clean cut. Would you ever grow a beard? Well, I always have a stubble. No, I don't look good with the beard. It itches after like 4 or 5 days, and then I trim it down to stubble. It's fine with me. Makes me look masculine. Race is irrelevant. Character is the only thing that matters. 100% lone wolf. If another man hates on another, it's because he's jealous of you. It's something he lacks that you have. Yeah. RP men do not hate other men. We actually applaud guys that are successful because we know that's the path that we can take as well. Now, people aren't born successful. They become successful. A successful man is an example to you that you can do exactly that. Guys, even with women, you don't have to be, well, nowadays it's a very different story, but Jason Statham is 5'8". His lady's 6 foot. Yeah, yes, he's an actor and so forth, but he was a professional, Olympic swimmer and diver. That guy put the time in, you know? I've seen ugly dudes with hot chicks. Maybe they don't have money, but women on the most part do not look for. I've been told that a lot of them, they look for a smile. If you got a nice smile, and you look clean, it's better if you're in shape, but so we can't be jealous. Jealous people are conditioned. We need to be respectful and prop each of our guys up. Now there's dicks out there. Come on, we know that. And there's guys I don't associate with. But the guys that are putting themselves on a purposeful path and sharing their knowledge. Guys like to share knowledge with each other. Man, this is how I did it. This is what I do. Go up to a guy at the gym if you want to get buff like him and say, what do you suggest? He'll give you great advice. Unless he's a douche, but I would say 2% are douchebags. Most guys want to help each other. Any tips on not falling into addictions? It depends on the addiction. Remember, whatever you give your power to has the potential of overpowering you. And that could be a female. That could be the pursuit of money. You have to have balance, right? You have to have balance. So pull yourself back if you're spending too much time consuming something, doing something, thinking about something, and switch gears for a little bit. Bruce Jenner is running for governor in California. Bruce Jenner. I recognize Bruce Jenner that dresses as a woman, but Jacob, I just saw that today. Very interesting news. Is it surprising? No. He's right. I'm Haitian American. My dad tells me that I'm young, so I don't know what I want. He says I'm going to change my mind about marriage and have many kids once I find the one. My dad doesn't know that I got a vasectomy. Well, they want grandkids, right? FJT. And he's still come from that conditioning. What do you think it took so long to take out Hitler and Bin Laden. Why do you think it took so long? I don't know. Good question. I've watched a lot of early like Reich movies and um, well, I don't know. There's conspiracy theories and all sorts of things, Mr. That's a different topic. We'll have to talk about that later. Haitians love freedom too. Yes, they do. We're all men. Mm-hmm. Bruce Jenner's running. He used to be on Wheaties boxes. Hey, if you have a Wheaties box with Bruce Jenner on, I bet it's worth money. If you want to get a woman, tell her you're emotionally unstable and an alcoholic and you like to smoke weed. That's exactly what Tom Leykis tells you. Show up drunk, angry, in debt, disheveled, and yep. Why? Dude, Greg Adams did a live stream on incarcerated men that are married behind bars. I mean, if murderers can get married, what does that tell you? The point is, no woman can love you the way you think of love. That is the RP. Yes, 100%. We have a very different way of loving. Absolutely. Streets of Ireland. Welcome. Going through a divorce in the moment, some days I feel great, some I feel down and depressed about wasting time and money on someone. Any advice to heal and recover from this nightmare? Well, I'm going to tell you to send me an email, rebelagainstdefeat@gmail.com. But this is what you have to do. This is the best thing you have to realize. She is a fantasy. There's a fantasy and a reality. So when you get sad, you're clinging to the fantasy. The initial days when you got married, maybe you had kids and the fun times. And you're avoiding, so your brain wants to fix it. This is what's happening. Your brain hasn't accepted the divorce or the breakup. You have a huge investment. Men hate to lose. We know our marriage sucked, but we don't want to give that up because we have 18, 19, 20 years of investments with memories, resources, houses, kids. And so we don't want to give that up. And so now our brain starts focusing on the fantasy. And the fantasy, she can do no wrong, and then we start blaming ourselves. Now, here's a quick thing, and you send me an email. Take a list, take a piece of paper, you write the pros and cons. You be generous on the pros, you be generous on the cons. And I guarantee those cons will be 5-1 to the pros. Every time you get depressed and sad, you read that list. You take a snapshot on your phone. That's how you do it. And then you say to yourself, I accept the fact that my marriage is over. Once you accept that, your brain finds ways to make that a reality. So send me an email. Seriously. Kerbo, RIPX, the slaves are the non-elite. We all have to come together. This other thing is about coming together is we have to use our brain to defeat the elite. I would agree. Race is irrelevant. As a black man, someone has to do something racist to me and I'll handle it. I stay away from the narrative they're throwing on TV. It's too negative and life's too short for that. Well said, brother. When you take your clients out for events after shop talk, what do you talk about after that? Sometimes politics, sports, life. They talk about their kids, just ways to get to know them better. What do they like to do on the off time? Find out where they went, what their alma mater was. Just easy talk. So that's how you build relationships in my industry. McTowski in the house. Stop getting post notices from this channel. A couple people have. Good to have you, though. Cyberzoni TV news is trying to divide us. That's why I don't watch it anymore. It's the smartest thing you can do. Stop watching the news. Guys with square chins don't go too crazy with the beard. Only need stubble. Yeah, I would agree. Dreddy G, happy Friday to you. Do you think a Migto channel would be good if it's mostly only has job, career advice, workout, diet tips, and less female? Sure. This right now, this stream is all about helping each other and why we should do it, because it truly brings us happiness and peace. To be able to help another guy in life, and even the 20-year-olds. When you're 40 and you know this shit, you're going to be helping guys. And guess what? Guys are still going to get married and go through all this crap. There'll be more of us, but it's not going to switch anytime soon. And I think it'll take 2 or 3 generations. Charles DC, I believe that she blocked me. Everybody took her stuff out of the flat. I'm completely destroyed. I'm asking myself, why do I deserve that? You did nothing wrong. Number one, you did nothing wrong. Female nature reared its head. Okay? Do not put her on the pedestal, Charles. Do not put her on the pedestal. You're on the pedestal. You understand what I'm talking about? You did nothing wrong. You might, well, I mean, okay, you do have some culpability, accountability, whatever, but you loved her. You wanted to be married and have kids. She didn't. You were rowing the canoe in the back. I'm going to give you an analogy. It's my analogy I use all the time. You're rowing the canoe. She's up front. Her arm hurts. One hand is in the water, filling the water outside the canoe, and the other hand's poking holes in that canoe. Little by little, pinholes. You have to paddle it harder and harder because now you've got water. Now there's more resistance. And eventually that begins to sink. She jumps to the other canoe. Those little holes are her issues of boredom, unhappiness because she sees her friends or people and thinks she can do better than you. You're hurt, you don't make enough money, and so forth. So let me ask you, as the guy rowing that canoe, did you do something wrong? In the grand scheme of things, you were trying to do the best you can. So that's what you got to remember. The fantasy is not the reality. Who agrees with me? Lizard60, in the house, good to see you. When I grew up, all women cared about was your long hair. There you go. John Boston is in the house. Charles DC, asked John Boston about his divorce. Right? You're lucky, Charles, because you don't have kids. You don't have to go to a family court. You do not want that. Could you imagine getting divorced, Charles, and then going through a family court based on how depressed and sad you are right now? And this is normal. It's okay to feel those feelings. We know what it's like to give our heart. But just be glad you don't have 100,000 pounds more of that weight. Because let me tell you, I've been through it. So did John Boston. And it's a shit show. When my ex wanted divorce and the court nonsense started, I accepted in a day and it was over. Now her and her soy boy attorneys were the enemy. She kicked you when she was down. You knock them out when they stand up. That was my theory. No reason to get married unless you want some sort of family with kids, and even then is a risk. Very well said, Mysterio. The seed of gnosis. Ever notice how women like to pull men away from each other? Yes, because men truly get along with each other. Women do not get along with most women. It's their nature. When you want to hang out, who do you hang out with? If you want to go see a fight, a boxing match, an MMA match, who do you go with? Do you send an invitation to your lady? I want you to come. No, she'll be bored of that. You like to go with your friends. When you talk sports, who do you talk with? When you talk politics, who do you talk with? Right? TV news is all liberal, left-wing propaganda, anti-men, all feminine, arguing and nonsense. 100%. My buddy's 5'4", working at a fast food, has a weak jawline and 3 kids. He pulls many women on a daily basis. He's not scared of rejection. There you go, guys. FJT, laying it down. It's not hard. You just have to know, hey, you got to wear that soap, right? That's how they're getting it. They're holding frame and wearing soap. Now, it's real simple. If you go after a woman, you're not on the pedestal. Let a woman send you signals, touching your hair, smiles, then you can approach. Then the only thing you say is, hi, my name is so-and-so. What's yours? No liners. I just gave you all of Rad's secrets. That's how I do it. If I see a girl looking at me, now when I go to the gym, I do not stare at her, ever. Well, maybe in the mirror I'll look behind, a quick glance, but it's not apparent. But their sixth sense probably knows I'm doing it, even if I'm not doing it. But that's the way. And a 5'4" with 3 kids, 5'4". I saw a guy the other day. He must have been 5'5". He's wider than he's tall because he's muscular. Got out of this big F-150. His lady was 5'10", and she was all over him. So it's all confidence, right? Good comment, FJT. What's your take on life 50 to 90 as a man minus create your adventure? I would say so. I think women between the ages of 40 and 90, 35 and 90, begin to break down biologically and physically. Their medical needs are going to be more. You're going to spend a lot of time with a woman taking care of her medical necessities unless she took care of herself. I think it's an adventure. Meet me down in Baja. We'll hang out, right? Or wherever I go. Mine got a false RO on me for my kids who I never once harmed or neglected. Had to be supervised. Yeah. I just heard about a friend of mine. At the end of the divorce, she claims DV. And did you have to get a psychologist, a child psychologist to monitor you? I mean, it's a total shit show. Man, I'm sorry to hear that, North South. Do you see any personality difference between your friends, acquaintance, girlfriend? Yes, of course. Most of the women are the same, whether they're friends, neighbors, or wherever. They're all the same. It just depends how you deal. It's how I deal with my neighbors, and so forth, and people at work. I just deal with them in a very different level, but very similar. A lot of emotions. Fernando's in the house. Good to see you again. Anyone interested in building an RP network, our own site? I don't know about that. That'd be cool though. You guys can figure it out. The youngsters are smart as hell. Melnage in the house. Good to have you. Rad, you know my story. Man, let me tell you, I've got many men out of the court system. These attorneys want to ruin you. Yep. This is why we're here, helping men avoid, like Charles, potential pitfalls of getting married, of having kids, of going through the court. Guys, it's worse than death. Women are kind of like status symbols for men. Hi is in the house. Yeah, I would agree so. Good comment. Charles, DC Rad, my ex was taking a free ride on my back and stabbing me in my neck. Back then, I couldn't understand why she would sabotage the person that she relied on 100% for support. But now you do. Female nature. There's a bigger and better option. The conditioning through the TV and the courts and all of the newspaper stories about women taking everything. Them being unhappy. They're always unhappy. Mine said the same thing. I'm not in love with you anymore. I'm not happy. She's still not happy. And I don't even live with her. It's been 6 years. North South, that is what my ex did. RO and visitation nonsense blew up in her face, and I went after the attorneys and got to their customers. And they're good for you. That was guerrilla warfare, John. Thank you, Rad. You're right. I did everything. She wasn't even able to cook for me, just watching Netflix. Why do I need big breasts and big ass if she's not able to treat me well? Now, here's the thing, Charles. She ain't never going to treat you well. Send me an email, and let's get you through this. I've been through it. A lot of us have been through it. Again, I did a video. What does she bring to the table? Does she pay your bills? The only thing she brought to the table is her body, and then maybe a smile. You took care of everything. What the hell did she bring to the table? Think about that. If she didn't have her genitals, would you still be in love with her? Don't underestimate the power of female beauty. But at the end of the day, what is under the hood? What is under the covers? Right? And I'm talking mental. What does she bring to the table? Macho Toxico! Good to have you. You guys got to check out Macho's channel. Macho has some good. He's had Stefan Molyneux. He's had Rollo Tomasi. He's had, I think you had Aaron Clary, right? If I remember right. I see most of them, but he's got so many followers now that he's got too many guests, and he's got some women guests that are fun too. What do you think about incel? Well, I think this is what I think. I understand incels, but here's the problem I have with incels. I think when you're an incel, you're subconsciously giving power still to a woman. A woman still is occupying your mind, but in a very different way. I don't think there's anything wrong with being not being associative, but I think that the definition of incel, it makes you still subconsciously give power away and a woman's still in control, but it's just in a different control. Does that make sense? I think one of your live streams talked about that, if I remember right. It was you had like 4 or 5 guys on it. But guys, check out Macho's channel. You can translate it after, but he's got good stuff. He's out of the UK from Brazil. And some of the women you have on are very attractive, Macho. We need to meet in Sao Paulo so I can have a 2-week fling with some of your cousins. When a woman files at RO, she's clueless of the financial rape and pillage she is causing in the destruction. Yeah, she's clueless because it's all emotional based. It's all emotion. Jazz. My ex called the cops on my lawyer. At that point, the court realized she was insane. Oh, they do. They do. That our fight, Fernando, that's our fight in Brazil to keep the manosphere united because there are many divisions on Brazilian manosphere. We try to bring this conscience to people. Good for you guys. You guys know each other. Yeah, even in Brazil, guys. Brazil. You know, the thing I like about Brazil is it's its own self-contained country. They don't need GE or Philips. They got their own companies like Itautec, right? They've got their own Samsungs. They're completely self-sustainable. It's a cool country. I need to go back. Why do women get annoyed if I say I'm 5'11" and not 6 feet tall? It's all psychology. You got to put a 6 behind that. Just tell them, just put on a pair of boots. Now you're 6'1". Case solved. Yes, Aaron Clary. Yeah. He's had some good dudes, man. Good guys. He's had me. I've been on Macho's channel. That was fun. We got to do it again. Let's set that up. You set that up and I'll do it. She bring the piping hot pea sleeve route. I bring my nice smelling body since I use tactical soap. And look for a woman she wider than she tall. Do you know a situation in China with women? Is MGTOW there strong too? DS? I don't know. It might be. I don't know of any. I do have some followers. I think there's like 50 people that have subscribed to my channel from China. At least that's where their location is. So I bet. But I think it's more government and female control than anything. So I think there's a lot more blue pill simps in China. That's just my thinking. I don't know. I've never been. If women don't have their moneymaker, they'd be hunted. Yep. And you know what their moneymaker is, right, McTowski? Good to see Macho in the house. If men didn't have each other to help each other with the truth, we would all be under complete blue pill delusion by women. That, my friend, is why I do this channel. That's what got me through it. Literally, Big John. Big John got me through. Charles, DC, you need to go and watch all of Big John's videos. 2 kids and divorce, brought everything. You need to just go to type in Big John or go to, what's the MGTOW Mirror Project? You can go under MGTOW is Freedom. Watch every video he has. That's what got me through it. She called the cops on the attorneys. That's great. You bring it. You bring your game, Macho. Even when Will Smith's wife cheat, it's game over for everyone. Yeah? Huh. That's a very interesting couple right there. The cops probably get tired of all these domestic calls. Oh, yeah, when the cops showed up when I was at, they knew exactly what was going on. And they're not dumb. But depending on the jurisdiction, they might have to take one of you in. It's typically the man. Rebel, try to learn a little bit of Brazilian Portuguese. It looks like Spanish. I can listen pretty good, but yeah, I need to learn it. That's where we're going to do the Rebel Against Defeat conference in Sao Paulo with Macho and Fernando and all the other guys. On the beach. Yeah, let's do a live stream, Macho. I was talking to a single mom in a chat from Brazil who owns her own bar that wants me to visit her. Well, ask Macho or Fernando what they think about you visiting her. Now, you can visit her, but be very careful. Brad, I was in the supermarket. This chick gets something from a high shelf. Her friend says, girl, you're a strong, independent woman. I look over and wanted to say, you're 5'2" and 240 pounds. She's wider than she's tall. And I bet she was buying Twizzlers and had her bus pass in one hand. All this nonsense is part of the zero tolerance policy, and the man leaves 99% of the time. Yes, sir. On the beach drinking tequilas or tuaca. Isn't tuaca Brazilian? Brasileña? Tuaca, that drink? I think it's kind of like rum or cana, sugarcane. It was pretty big out in Portland for a while. They were pushing tuaca. I've never even had a Brazilian beer. I don't even know what the names are. My girlfriend got a breast reduction and implants, and I hate it. Then she went from a natural J to a fake D. She doesn't get why I don't like it. Total scam. Absolutely. She's not doing it for you. She's doing it for attention. Any woman that gets implants while you're with her is just setting for the next, potentially for the next guy. So be wary of that. Every guy I know whose wife got an implant are divorced, and she filed for divorce. So be careful, North South. Don't give your heart away. Detach, detach, detach. You're only in it for one thing. We'll talk to you soon, Miktowski. Let's get to drink some beers. Absolutely. Cachaca. Is that what it is, or Tuaca? I mean, maybe Tuaca is the brand of Cachaca. We have the famous Caipina. Okay. I don't think I can get it where I'm at. Speaking of Will Smith's girl cheating on him, total sin. Caipina equals Cachaca. Okay. Dark Minds in the house. What's up, Rad? Good to see you. We actually talked about it. She has 3 brothers that were violent, and she said that wouldn't be a problem for me. Yeah. Never, ever believe their words in less than half of what they do. Ooh, lime sugar and cachaca. That sounds good. We'll have drinks in Brazil. When are you going to Brazil, macho? Maybe I'll meet you there. Met this girl, and she posted a pic, and she was on a bus. Didn't see a Twizzler, but she told me she couldn't drive because she had too many parking tickets. There you go. I mean, you don't have to say anything. They divulge everything. It's as simple as that. Just her on the bus divulges something. Red flag, right? Speaking of Will Smith's wife cheating, even if a girl is a prime rib at home, sometimes she just wants to get some McDonald's. Yeah, absolutely. Marcella speaking, I don't understand girls that get a breast reduction. I'm a natural 32 and I wouldn't have it any other way. Good for you. Own your body. Maybe if they're so big she had back problems or something. Caipirinha. Incels reached out to me for advice. Many of them aren't even ugly. They're afraid of rejection. When I give them advice, they say, well, why do I have to self-improve if Chad doesn't have to? Again, here's a problem I have with incels. It's not that I don't like them and I don't understand them. It's the fact that they're still giving attention and validation to an external person, which is a female, because they haven't got laid or they haven't had the attention, they get rejected. That's still giving women power. Think about it. There's no reason that, and that's why they're upset. A woman has taken their consciousness and said, well, a woman rejects me, I can't get laid, so I'm angry at women every day of my life. That is the problem I have with incels. They've got to change the mindset to start working on themselves. And if they really wanted to work on themselves, FJT, they would get peace leave. But instead of focusing on what they can do for themselves and be better as a man, they focus on what women do to them, and that keeps them in the cycle. Keeps the anger, the frustration. Guess what happens with incels and blue pill men? They'll snap. Which is a very classic thing a woman does if she doesn't get her way. She throws a fit, she's angry, she calls the authorities, she gets you in trouble, and so forth. So tell that to the guys that reach out. You're still focusing on women, just in a different way. I know a woman that after 3 kids, she went and got a boob job. She was close to 40 when she did this. She's near 50 now. Did she divorce her husband? Yeah, I don't want to take the vaccine either. Hopefully, we can all get there. When someone's that honest, I tend to trust them. We all have our different barriers. George P., is there any reason to chat to girls on chatting apps? To WhatsApp? Depends on why you're doing it. That would be my only issue. Why are you chatting with them? Because it's fun, it's entertainment. I mean, I don't see a problem with it. It's just, if you're doing it for attention or validation, she's chatting to a total, or I would do it slowly for entertainment, or if she's looking for a reason to get together for a night, and then have all those chats documented that she wants to see you and so forth. All incels need to get hookers so they can know what it's like, so they know. Yeah, I would agree. Why not? They should. That would be a great alternative. But they've been rejected so many times since 6th grade that they just hate it, and they're worried, and it's all mindset. That's all it is. If they worked on themselves, they would have 10 times more opportunities to not be rejected. But they still focus on the rejection part, and it keeps them in that vicious cycle of hate. Rad, I love these discussions. It brings out the reality of what we all see. Who thought YouTube would be such a great way to talk about this? Yes, that's why we do it, man. We learn from John. We learn from Machos, FJT. We even learn from Charles, going through what he's doing. Now, she did not divorce him. Probably found out that she would be paying him alimony. Oh, there you go. I bet she's got a few on the side. Most women are deciding to end their marriages to ride the carousel, just to then look for a marriage after they threw away what. Yeah, that's the funny thing. They're still looking for. They want to dump some guy and then remarry, and they're the same person, and most likely that guy's going to be the same guy. He's going to get tired of her shit. Jawar is in the house. Just got in. Good to see you, brother. What does she mean? I have no more feelings for you. In my case, it means someone else came in the picture. That's exactly what it means. And that's why you have to accept it. That's what happened to me, and there was somebody else. And it's hard. It sucks. Everyone's been through that. Time for a workout. Hell yeah. Everyone's been through that. Ask Trong. Ask Trong. You've been through it. Good to see you, Trong. I'm watching the site, Braless World, where women jump around with no bra and they have cloths on. Think about the attention hit they get from this. There you go. Yep. Red Pill Medicine in the house. Good to see you. FJT. Incels don't even want to pay directly for it. If you tell them that, they'll say, well, Chad doesn't have to pay, so why should I have to? It's very difficult to give them advice. They sound like women. I think if you look at an incel's brain, I wonder how much of it has estrogen, like how much body percentage of estrogen they have in their bodies. It's got to be more. Was it fun deep sea diving? I've never been. I did go diving in a couple places, but I never did like massive deep sea. I don't know if that's for me. Dark Minds, what age group are wanting divorces to ride the CC? All, especially divorced women. So if you look at divorced women, I would say 28 to 45 are just riding that CC like nobody's business. Just had a 2-hour conversation with a man facing same situation as me. And isn't that interesting? And I bet you looked at it and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm talking to myself. Guys, this is everywhere. Your story is no different. A woman broke your heart or destroyed a relationship. You have accountability and responsibility in it. I'm not taking the fact that they're 100%, 50%, but the one that threw in the towel 80% of the time is the woman. The one that cheats the majority of the time is the woman. That's why when someone shows up and says, I don't want to be divorced, or I'm getting divorced, the man like literally now hunkers down and go, holy shit, I got to fix this. He doesn't want to give up the investment. Who wants to take their $100,000 Bitcoin and have it go to $200 overnight? You can do everything you can to hedge your bets. That's what we do in marriage. And we say to ourselves, geez, I got to fix myself. And we put her on the fantasy versus what the reality is. The reality is that woman, Charles, after 9 years, is not the same woman you fell in love with. Most men are consistent. We change a little, but not as much. So interesting. Yeah. Female nature just keeps repeating itself, almost textbook, action for action, word for word. Yeah. And guess what, Charles? You're gonna wake up someday. It might be 2-3 years. Remember, it's 1 month for every year you're together, which is typically how to get over. You'll probably be over her in 6 months. But it's usually 1 month. And if it goes longer than 9 months, because you've been together 9 years, then you've got to work on yourself. Send me an email, we'll work it together. They typically say, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. That's code for my peace sleeve is wet for Dexter and not you, 100%. They say they love you, but they're not in love with you. Somebody else is on deck. No, there's somebody else, man. There's no reason for a woman always has a backup plan. Now, what hurts is the fact that there's another person involved, or you don't want to admit it. You don't want to believe it. I was the same way, but somebody else has her ear. Could be an emotional thing. Could be a physical thing. Could be a sexual thing. But it's typically emotional, physical. Someone at work, in the neighborhood, online, in a chat, in her DMs, in her Instagram, has her ear. You are no longer relevant. And it sucks. It sucks. It breaks your heart 100 times worse. But that is why you hang out with guys like us and learn from us and get through it. I've been on men's team for a long time. I've seen this over and over. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I wonder what age range for women when they divorce. Typically in their 40s is the biggest decade of divorce for women. 40 and above. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Are they ever single or celibate? Are they ever single or celibate? I can't answer that. I don't have the data. Depends if they're single emotionally or physically or celibate. FJT, I got attacked in an insult comment section after telling my story. They said, get out of here, Chad. We don't care about you. Why are you here? Then they deleted my comment. It's all, it's funny. They're not doing themselves a service. Now, I'm not anti-incel. I'm not an incel. I never have been, never will be, but you can understand their plight, but they're putting too much energy. If they just realize, hey, I've been angry in this, I can change my life, potentially change the situation. But they have to accept that fact. Will they accept it? No, they just keep blaming, deflect and blame. They blame the child, they blame the woman, they deflect and blame. They don't take the ownership on themselves. And that's what I have a problem with. Prenup's really hard to throw out. They're pretty easy to throw out now. There could be lots of reasons the judge throws it out. She signed it under duress. She signed it under unrealistic expectations. She brought a lot to the table. If you got a lot of money, you throw it in a trust, an irrevocable trust that cannot be punctured. That's what O.J. Simpson did. No name, an hour and a half. You're in the house. Good to see you. How can a newly divorced woman who's 45 ride the CC when she has all the... Because guys will hit anything, man. That's what. Trust me. Gals that are 300 pounds have guys knocking down their door. John Boston's friend is getting married to a 300-pounder. That Lizzo has made all these heavies. I don't know. To me, that's disgusting. But That's just me. A woman of words are lighter than the autumn leaves. They'll tell you they love you. They'll tell you there's no one like you. And she never really meant it. Never ever believe what she tells you and less than half of what she does. Never ever believe the words she tells you and less than half of what she does. There you go. She says she loves you. I wouldn't believe it. You love me in the moment. For what? Because I provided a great dinner? I don't know. I have a hard time. That's my biggest red pill awakening several years ago. She never loved me. I had to accept that. She loved aspects, I think, of the relationship. She was in love with the idea of being in love. I don't think she ever loved me. I got a buyout number this week. My life can move forward now. Oh, good for you, Trong. Good for you. Happy for you. Hopefully it's manageable and it's not like some out of control issue. Good for you, brother. They divorce and head out for one final run. Go to the grocery stores and restaurants and watch these old women. I was at last weekend, a couple of 50-year-old, 52-year-old gals sitting at the bar staring at me, staring at a couple other guys, washed up, divorced. There's no guy sitting with them. In Brazil, we have a guy, Aldir Gracindo, that represents the human rights activist for men and boys. It sounds like Paul Elam from the States. Interesting. What do people think about him, Fernando? No man should chase a married woman. Nope. Never ends well. And it could end your life. There's lots of movies made about guys that go after guys that sleep with their wives. No way. Milwaukee Packers. Hello. Good to have you. I was on YouTube channel Narcissistic Behavior because I'm convinced my soon-to-be ex-wife is a covert narcissist. I got immediate attack by women saying, why is a red pill idiot here? Well, at least good thing she recognized the RP, but I think you made the right comment. I think you made the right comment. Never get with a married woman. Why can't men go through women faster than women through men? Because men are logical and we like the investment into what we have invested into her, whether it's financial, physical. We truly like to build if we like the person. And that's why we don't go through women as quick. Where women can dump you after 20 years and have 4 guys and moved in. I know a gal who's married 26 years. 3 weeks after he moved out, the husband, she moved in with another guy. Now, you know she knew that guy about 6 months to a year before that. They could just move on, and then it always backfires. Unless the guy's a massive blue-pilled simp. And then she'll cheat on him again. Do you see the cycle? That's the cycle. That's what they like to say. How probable is it that her backup will leave her? 100%. All I want is that she once comes back to me and she admits she did wrong, but I would not take her back. I doubt if she might, but I doubt it because most women deflect and blame. If she does, consider it great that you were the one that was the stable one, but never take her back. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. No. This is time for you to rebuild. I don't know if you watch basketball, but when Kyrie Irving left the Raptors, they had to rebuild, right? You rebuild. You rebuild your life, and now you interact again. And you take this knowledge with you. You never trust me, I'll slap you on the side of the head if you take her back. You know why? Because you're disrespecting yourself, because she left you for another man, and now you're plan B. Let that sink into yourself, and write your list down. If you want to call me, I'll give you my number. Just send me an email. Never take her back. And number one, if you take her back, let's just say this, okay? Let's just say you love this woman, you're going to forgive her. If you take her back, what does that tell her? Think about it. That tells her you're a simp. And now she's going to disrespect you twice. The only way she respects you if you kick her to the curb. and you get with another gal, and then she'll be kicking herself because now you're with a hot chick. You take a woman back, she disrespects you 100 times more, and you disrespect yourself. Simple as that. And it's hard to hear that. It really is. I remember wanting my wife to not divorce me. And then I had a good friend tell me I was an effing idiot, and I had to listen to the cold, hard truth, which is exactly what I'm telling you. And it's the truth. I read that after 30, women lose estrogen and produce more testosterone. Yes. Yeah, and they're able to grow more facial hair too. Funny how red pill men are idiots, but feminists are amazing heroines. Yeah. Deflect and blame, red pill medicine. That's all they do. Do you think Nicole is having an affair with Ron Goldman, even though I think Nicole is experiencing hypergamy and female nature? Whoever she was with, but I'm sure it was Ron Goldman. Absolutely. Again, if you're sleeping with a married woman, you could end up on a potential TV program or TV show. Look at Lifetime TV channel. It's all about dudes. It's crazy. Don't do it. I have met guys who got a divorce because their own brother and best friend were screwing their wife. There you go. Heard about that. What up, Brad? I didn't get your live notifications. Good to see you, Jake. I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know. But glad you're here. You can rewatch it. I'm pretty sure the 8s, 9s, and 10s are gold diggers and only want Chad and Tyrones that are rich. They don't want average guys or average looking girls. No. How many 8s and 9s do you know? Come on. Most of them are 6s and 7s. And the 8s and 9s and 10s, the 9s and 10s, is there even a 10? I would say 8.5 to 9. 8.5 to 8.75. I think those women are with multimillionaires, billionaires. But all the 4s, 5s, and 6 thinks they're 8s, 9s, and 10s. That's the funny thing. So tell me how you're going to compete. Never, ever take her back. Your balls have been snipped. Very true words of wisdom from Trong. Very good. What does the average woman have to say about the 70% that is initiated by their gender? Well, mine said that I pushed her to divorce. She couldn't even accept the fact that she divorced me, that I made her divorce me. Can you believe that? John Boston and Charles, D.C., do not take back a woman. We're not giving you this advice, Charles, because we don't want you to be happy. We just know the reality. And the reality is this. She don't love you. You're plan B. In fact, you're probably plan X, Y, Z. She disrespected you by leaving everything you built with her. She poked the holes in your canoe while you were rowing, while you were trying to build something, only for some guy on the side to whisper in her ear, and she was swept away like that. The fuck are you waiting around? I had to go through. I had to realize that too. I'm not giving you advice because I've never been through it. I was hurt. Hell yeah, I was hurt. 20 years, 3 kids, a huge amount of assets, a life. And I think the guy that she was kind of having I got a back scratch. Sorry about that. The guy that she was some guy at her work that was a total guy in HR, Kevin in sales. I know what it's like. You stick around these channels and you get advice from every one of these guys giving you advice. Men help each other. That was the topic of this. Right? What was Mysterio say? Have you ever had a massage before? I got a Mexican massage by this big fat woman, but it felt really good. And she was so heavy, the weight knocked my muscles out of oblivion, and I felt good. She untightened a lot. Ryan Giggs is a very famous footballer who played for Manchester United. He was screwing his brother's wife for 8 years. He now has fresh abuse claims against him with other women. Jeez. Idiot. 10s don't exist. I would agree. 100%. What's a 7 in looks? Anne Hathaway. She's had some pretty moments. What's a 7? I got to think about that. I'm enraged because I really Of course you trusted her. I'll not take her back. Rad is right. Self-respect, 33, not married, no kids. You trusted her because you loved her. You did nothing wrong, my friend. She disrespected you. How can you ever trust her again, my friend? Do you know how I know guys that have taken their exes back, wives, after they cheated? They cheat again. And the second time around, it's 10 times worse. And you're worried the whole time. Who's she talking to? The anxiety isn't even worth it. Disrespect is what she did for you. And if you take her back, you disrespect yourself, and she knows it. She owns your ass now. They keep asking, what do you do? Who do you live with? Me, myself, and I live with 3 people. And that diner you go to, Jawara, you just got to tell her, hey, just tell him you live fast. I've only dated 5 and 6, maybe 7. I've probably been a 7.5. I've gone out with really attractive women, but to be a 9 or a 10, you've got to have everything going. Height, body, skin, beauty, less makeup, natural look. I mean, it's pretty damn hard. The way they talk, the voice, very, very rare. I know a very pretty woman, her friend told me that she wouldn't date me unless she knew what I had. Jeez. Of course, John Boston. Of course, John Boston. Tyrone Jerome Harris in the house. A bottle of red wine has far better taste than most women. That's great. Absolutely. Good to see you. Tell us where you're from. Got John Boston from Boston. My ex said it was my fault the divorce happened. That's mine. Blame me. You pushed me to divorce. There's zero accountability for these gals. I think my ex was with Steve from McCann, the goofy looking, because they gave him attention. You should see the guy that my ex is with now. Oh my gosh. He's on the opposite side. And my ex is an attractive woman. I didn't marry an ugly woman. But women like 2 things. Doormats or douchebags. Anything in between they don't like. They want to walk all over a doormat. They want a guy to treat them like crap. Just listen to Tom Likas, right? The only women that would want me are homeless women looking to monkey branch and make $2,000 a month and live in a studio apartment. More women would like you. Just never tell any woman what you make, and you're not in it for the long haul. You're not in it for the long haul. The beauty of being a man is that we can rebuild a better life after being defeated. Yes, 100%. 100%, Dark Minds. If you bring up that women initiate divorce, 80% of the time, they blame men. They say it's because men do this, men do that. We're all equal, right, FJT? Mine said, I pushed her to it. I made her divorce me. You don't know your wife until she divorces you. Why would Kobe's pilot take passengers in heavy fog when they were not escaping fires? I don't know. That was a really weird story. Really weird story. It's very sad how it ended. Lobo Red Pialor, Migtao from Brazil. Hey, Macho Toxico was in here with Fernando. It's good to see you. I love Demi Leah to look wise before she went. Demi Leah. I don't know who that is. Tell me what movie. Demi Lovato. Okay. She's a cute little gal, but she's nuts too. The guy I know who's going to marry the 300-pounder next year, she'll be 400 and will need an electric cart to shop. And I get that simple, right? She'll probably have oxygen too. See them with oxygen and they're always angry. Then she'll be 400. Oh yeah. I lived in my car for 6 months and now I own my house. So did FJT. Or not FJT, Coach Craig Adams. He lived in his Ford Explorer for 6 months. And now look at him. Guys, even if you hit bottom, the sky is the limit. You can rebuild quick. We don't need all this bullshit. That's the great thing about being a man. We can pee in a gutter. We can sleep under a tree. We can eat $2 worth of fries and $1 chicken sandwich from McDonald's, drink water, and we'll be fine. Right? FJT. Charles, if she comes back, don't give in. She did it once and she'll do it again. 100%. 100%. She will do it again. Cheating is the ultimate level of disrespect. I made a video on that. Once they go down that road and they decide to disrespect you on the ultimate level, leave, walk away, and get the best deal you can. I would 100% agree with that statement. It is the ultimate level of disrespect. I know a guy who took his wife back after she left him for the CC for 3 years. Ugh. He didn't work on himself. If he had this knowledge, he'd be Kit Kat. He'd be in a much better situation. No Name says Kit Kat. We like the Kit Kat. I had a woman ask me if my house was paid for. I said nothing. She knew I had more than one house. These women Google you and read what you have. She found 2 homes in 2 counties. See, guys, what are they looking for? They're not looking for your heart. Fuck that, man. They're whacked. They're looking for what they can get. Status, protection, materials. And to pacify their boredom. I was married for 9 years. I trusted her and learned the hardest way not to trust women. Yep. Freaky, you're right. You guys opened my eyes. Now I understand why she was on Snapchat all the time. She wasn't talking about you, my friend. And that is the cold hard truth, Charles. Every time there's a chat, there's someone that we're helping through. This is why we're here. It's why we're here. Going out to fine dine alone tomorrow, and the hot married waitress will give me the find a wife and get married. Ask her where they exist. Say, where are the good women? See what she says. Macho Toxico, Lobo Rapiador, Fernando Makiyama. Yeah, you got to be careful. These women know how to get you. Fernando, she was asking for the ring all the time, too. I didn't went into her game. Now I see where she could. But I'm going to tell you something, man. Unfortunately, your heart's hurt. I get it. You didn't have kids. You didn't marry. You didn't give a ring. You didn't buy a house. You're way ahead of the game. So count your blessings because of that. 300. Just anyone that gets with a woman that big, I don't understand. I'm from West Memphis, Arkansas. Do you know where El Dorado is? I went out with a gal from El Dorado. She was a very quick STR 3 times and I was done. Very attractive woman. El Dorado. West Memphis, Arkansas. Right on, brother. But Rad, you don't understand. Our love is no love you have ever had. I know. She's not like that. She's not like that, John. How are women who were 30 or 40 like in the 80s and 90s? What were the different? Women in that age group, I remember when my mom was 40. She seemed like she was 50 back in the... They had more maturity. They were a lot older in their mind than today. 40-year-olds think they're 20. That's the difference. Bada bing. Thanks, brother. Always appreciate you in here. Always appreciate you. This off topic, you have very white teeth. Oh, man, I don't think I have white teeth. Here's a trick for white teeth. Now, if women do find, I'm in my line of work, you got to be professional, and first appearances are everything. But I just brush with a whitening toothpaste, like a Colgate for $1 a tube, and I don't drink coffee, and I think coffee stains teeth. And then I learned it from a hygienist. Twice a week, just gargle with hydrogen peroxide before you go to bed. It whitens teeth over time, but no, I don't think they're that white. It's probably the light. Vamos votar para quebrar. We're gonna break. I'm on a roll tonight. My wife has been on dating app for 2 years. her first and most important question, how much do you earn a year? And she's going to be on it for the next 10 years. All these women on these dating apps are the same. They're the same recycled women. I've seen the same women 5 years ago on the same apps. Appreciate it. Don't make it easy with these attorneys. Don't discharge a mortgage and keep a line of credit in case you need to have a financial bug out bag. Correct. She's got to be 280 then. She's twice my size and I'm 200 pounds. There's some heavies, man. You still think that this is Charles, you shall think that this is shame. It's not yours, but hers. You must have pride in yourself. Those are very good words of wisdom from Fernando. Respect yourself, and it's not your shame. When do you do your weights? Do you do the same routine or mix it up? I've been mixing it up lately. I've been doing weights where if you're doing a bicep, you go like count 5 seconds down. And then when you come up, you do 5 seconds up, and you do it with lats and all sorts of things. What that does is you can only basically not even get through 10 repetitions because it breaks. And I've seen significant improvement just doing that for the last week and a half. I try to mix it up. Like I was doing squats for a while, then I decided to do or wall squats and then leg presses. Yeah, just any different thing because your muscles they tune in, right? And they get used to the same exercise. We all have been through it, brother. Unfortunately, this is part of female nature. We don't hate women. We accept their nature for what it is and adjust our lives accordingly. Very well said, FJT. We don't hate them. We navigate life by understanding them. Exactly what FJT said. Simple as that. If you know this information, do you think your life's going to be better? 100%. She'll get what she deserves in the future. This is what's going to happen to your girlfriend, your ex, Charles. She's going to continue to maintain this life of illusion, and she's going to get older. And as she gets older, what happens to women? They become less attentive, or men pay less attention to them. And then she's going to deflect and blame, buy cats and buy wine. It's as simple as that. It's a very easy formula. And then they regret, hopefully, but typically not, because they're giving their accountability away. What woman wants to be accountable for their actions? Very few. You're always welcome. We help our brothers. This is the channel. Men succeed when they help other men. You will be fine. Carl coming in late. Hope all is well. Good to see you. Check out Steve Brule's recent video today. I think you'd enjoy it. And if you haven't seen Liberal Hive Mind, good stuff. Well, check it out. Check it out, Carl. Hope you're doing good. He's got to run. Raccoon. None of my 60 matches are responding to my messages. And you're a black guy with dreads. You're Tyrone. What's that tell you guys? Women have so much attention. It's out of control. And they follow your rules, not you're following theirs. If they like it, then great. Are there any brothels that men can go down and get sex, and is it legal? Nevada. Where do you think Lamar Odom went? Remember he had that huge issue a few years back? The Mustang Ranch. Listen, guys, I've got to run. But men help each other. And we are happiest and most at peace when we help our other men, our other brothers and men succeed in life. Chase excellence, masculinity, men first.